Hello and welcome to Optimizing Your Warehouse Processes with Mobile WMS. Amanda here from marketing, and I'm joined by Kate McLaughlin. And Kate is the Sales Channel Manager at Tasklet Factory.
Thank you so much. And thanks so much everybody for joining. I'm really excited to tell you guys a little bit more about Tasklet Factory today, as well as show you around our solution a bit as well.
And before handing over to you, so yeah, Kate's going to talk about and demonstrate how your warehouse can eliminate errors, improve inventory accuracy and stock records, improve customer experience and accurate, timely shipping, and a whole lot more, Kate. So yeah, I'll hand over to you now to get started on Mobile WMS.
Awesome, thanks so much. So yeah, like I mentioned, we will get started by talking a little bit about who Tasklet Factory is as a company, for those of you who are not familiar with us. So Tasklet Factory has been in business for over 12 years. We are, of course, a mobile warehouse management solution specifically for Microsoft Dynamics. Something unique about us is that Mobile WMS for Microsoft Dynamics is all we do. It's all we've ever done as a business. It's our exclusive focus. So we've really become the masters of it over the last 12 years. We're Microsoft Dynamics partners, of course. We have over 700 customers across 35 different countries, so a great international presence. And like Amanda mentioned, I'm based in our US office in Tampa, but we also have our headquarters in Denmark, as well as some internationally located support folks. A couple benefits of choosing a mobile warehouse management solution in general. I'm sure we can all imagine being an employee in the warehouse dealing with tons of different, items that look similar, item numbers, barcodes, things like that. Using pen and paper, this process is just super prone to human error. It's only natural if, people are moving quickly, there's going to just be naturally a lot of mistakes that happen throughout this process. So the goal of implementing a WMS is to reduce those errors that are happening throughout your normal processes in the warehouse. Also make your employees much more efficient by ensuring that accuracy, without interrupting any other processes. Our solution also communicates back and forth with the ERP, so no need to, do any of that redundant manual data entry. Just by helping with those 2 points, we're going to reduce warehouse costs in a really big way. Also improve customer satisfaction. Your orders are going to be going out, in a timely manner. They're always going to be accurate, so we're going to have some happy customers. And then finally, like I mentioned, your inventory will always be accurate. Like I mentioned, our solution communicates back and forth with the Microsoft Dynamics platforms. So everything that you do will keep your database up to date. When we take a look at Tasklet Factory specifically, our solution is incredibly user-friendly. I always like to share with people that I learned how to use the solution within my first full day working with Tasklet Factory. It's really intuitive, really easy to pick up on, as you guys will see once we get into our demo environment. We also have a really quick installation, just 2 days, and our solution is super easy to customize. This is something that's really unique about us. When our CTO and CEO founded our company, he essentially was looking to create a WMS that really understood that each customer is a little bit different in their warehouse processes and operations. And build a solution that could be flexible to all of those different processes, rather than the other way around of forcing all of our customers to, customize and flex their processes to our software. So, I'll present the standard version of the solution, but, definitely, don't hesitate to think of other ideas of, how your warehouse employees currently function and how the solution could, be bent a little bit to best work for your processes. We also support both on and offline functionality, so I'll mention that once we get into the demo environment and show you exactly where you can go offline. If Wi-Fi connection is at all a challenge for you within the warehouse, the solution can definitely help with that. Quick overview of technology. We support Android operating systems. So all the devices that our customers use for the scanning are Androids. Our application is a .NET application. It's written entirely in C#. And like I mentioned, we support Nav, Business Central, AX, and Finance and Operations. Something that I always like to note is that our solution can be utilized on-prem or on the cloud, and that's regardless of how you have your ERP set up. So for example, you could have Nav on-prem and you could still purchase our solution on the cloud on a subscription basis if you chose to. And then finally, we use a device management system called Mobile Control. That's what I will show you guys in just a moment here, but essentially this is what allows us to do such quick implementation, quick support when you need it. We never have to be on site to do any of those things. So I will flip over into my demo environment. Hopefully you guys can see this. If you guys are not seeing a device that looks kind of like a phone, somebody please feel free to interrupt. But I'm using Mobile Control right now. This is what the solution looks like. I also have a handheld device in front of me, as well as a sheet of printed off barcodes. So I have a little bit of a simulated warehouse here. But as you'll see, everything I do on my device will reflect on this screen, and anything I click on this screen will reflect on the device that I have in my hand. So we'll start with these three at the top. These are probably the most common that are used on a daily basis throughout the warehouse. We have receive, putting away, and picking. So we'll start with receive. This is when our products first arrive in the warehouse and we want to register them in our ERP as having actually arrived here. So the most manual, tedious way to do this would be for me to scroll through each of these purchase orders until I find the one that's sitting right in front of me. The easiest way for me to do this that we've engineered is just to pick up one of those products that's in front of me, scan it, and my solution will automatically filter down to just the purchase orders that contain that product. So I'll scan my first product here. As you can see, this product is part of two different purchase orders, so it filtered down to these two. What I can do next is just pick up a second product and scan it. That will filter just between the remaining purchase orders until I find the one that I'm working with. So I'll scan my next product here. And now I've actually filtered down into that purchase order. Here is the point where I could go offline if need be within the warehouse. So at this point, all of my items are downloaded. And everything that I do here, starting from here up until I post, all of this can be done off Wi-Fi if need be. So I'll scan my product that I'm working with. This information is all coming from your ERP, so the item number, the product image, as well as the quantity that I'm expecting. I count up my product. If I count up all 10, I can press that green check mark. And you can see this line on the right turns green. Let's say I don't find all of the products that I'm looking for, when I'm receiving them. So I'll scan my next product here. And let's say here, rather than counting up all 15, let's say I only count 11. I can manually go ahead and change that number to 11. But as you can see, my line will now turn orange rather than turning green because I have not fully completed that line item. If I go back and I, say in the bottom of the box or something like that, I find the remaining products, I can just scan that product again. My solution will automatically do that math for me. It knows that I just have 4 left that I'm expecting to receive, count up my 4, and I accept with that green check. Our next 2 items are lot number tracked and serial number tracked. So we'll do the lot number tracked item first. I will scan my barcode. I'll set an expiration date. Just for time's sake, I'll keep it as today. I'll scan my lot number. And then again, just confirm my quantity. So really just one extra step in there when you have lot number tracked items. When it comes to serial track number items, I will scan my main barcode, and then one by one, I'll scan the serial numbers. Obviously, each of those is going to be unique, so each of those has to be scanned. So I'll scan my first one, And let's say, you know, in this case, I only have 3 that I'm working with, but, you know, let's say I'm in a situation where I have tons and I get mixed up and I go back and I scan one that I've already scanned. My solution will stop me from doing that because, like I said, each one has to be unique. So I'll go and scan my second one and my third. Now that I've done every line item within this purchase order, this message will pop up. It will let me know that I've completed this whole purchase order and ask me if I want to post. Like I mentioned before, in order to post, this is when I have to be back connected to Wi-Fi, so I need to be back online, and I can click yes. And then that final step here is to scan a delivery note. You know, some of our customers have this configured a little bit differently to be various different types of information that they enter. Really, however you want it set up is something that we can support. My order has posted successfully. So next we'll take a look at a put away. After I have registered that all of these items have been received in my warehouse, now I'm ready to actually place them into bins. So again, I'll just start by scanning a product. It will filter down into that order that I'm working with. Scan my first product here. As you can see, it pops up with this expected bin, you know, that the ERP is telling my system I'm expected to place it into. You can walk over to that bin, scan the bin code, and confirm that quantity that I'm placing in that bin. I'll scan my next product. And let's say in this scenario, you know, only 10 of these items actually fit in that bin. I will scan that first bin. And again, I can just manually change this quantity to 10. And again, it will turn orange instead of green. Now, let's say I want to place those remaining 5 in a different bin than this expected bin it's telling me. Again, I'll scan my product. Here, I'll scan a different bin than the expectation. It'll pop up with this message and tell me that it's not a match. But in this case, you know, this is simply a guardrail and I can override it and I can click yes, I want to use this bin anyways. We have a lot of messages like this throughout the system, lots of guardrails in place to make sure that people don't accidentally scan the wrong things. But, you know, we definitely understand things change on the fly all the time throughout the warehouse. You know, so there's a lot of situations where you do need to be able to override. A couple scenarios that you'll see I can't do that. Obviously, serial numbers was one of them. You know, picking is another one. We're not going to allow the employee to scan the wrong barcode and override that. The only situation where that will be acceptable is if there's already an acceptable substitute set up for that item on the ERP side of things. So I'll confirm my quantity here. And I've got a couple more items in this put away order, those lot numbers and serial tracked items. For time's sake, I won't go and do the put aways for each of those right now. Instead, I will go ahead and post through my menu in this bottom right. You're going to see another one of those guardrails that's going to let me know that I didn't complete every single line item, but I can proceed anyways. As you can see, those ones that I did complete will disappear off this order. The rest of them will stay, and this put away order won't disappear until all of them have been completed. We'll take a look at a pick next. So here, obviously, we're not going to start off by, you know, by scanning our first product. We don't know which products we're working with yet until we actually open up one of these orders. Something I always like to point out, and I'll go back so you can see it again. When I click into this pick order, there's going to be a little lock symbol that appears in this bottom right here. This is, again, just another one of those guardrails. It's going to prevent people from accidentally picking the same order at the same time. And then, you know, having done redundant work and need to put some things away. If you want multiple employees picking on the same order, they can always release the order or unlock it through this menu, but it just kind of adds that additional manual step so that we can be sure it's not an accident. So when I click it, you should again see that bottom right turn into a lock symbol. I have my expected bins here that I'm pulling these products out of. I'll walk over to my first bin, pull out my first product and scan it. I'll scan my bin I'm taking it from and confirm the quantity that I took. I'll scan my second product, or actually before I do that, I'll show you guys really quickly what would happen if I tried to scan a product that was not actually part of this pick order. Like I said, it's not going to allow me to override in this scenario. It will just tell me that that scan did not match any of these products. I'll scan my second item, scan the bin I'm taking it from, scan my lot number in this case, and then confirm my quantity. Again, because I completed both line items here, it'll pop up with this message and ask me if I'm ready to post, and I can click yes. Our next line here has a couple things that are kind of a little bit related. So a couple different versions of counting functions. Here on the left and the center, we have a count and an unplanned count. These essentially do the same thing, but obviously one of them is going to appear as a task, and the other one is just going to be something that gets done ad hoc when an employee either has some downtime or just sees something that needs to be done. So these counts can be scheduled however you'd like them to be from your ERP side of things. So these can be, you know, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, however you guys like them to be set up. The standard for our solution is for these to be a blind count. That's why you see all these zeros on the side. We do have some customers that choose for it not to be a blind count, but we find that most of our customers do prefer it to be blind here. So I will go into my first product that I'm counting. As you can see, it tells me which bin I'm counting from. I'll scan that bin that I'm counting out of, and I'll just type in the quantity that I count. I'll do that for my other products here. Again, just scan that bin, enter my quantity that I count, and do that for all three here. Here, when I post, something I always like to point out is that rather than saying that the order has posted successfully, in this case, it's going to say the registrations were transferred successfully. Reason being, you know, the way that most of our customers prefer to have this done is for these blind counts to not just automatically update inventory numbers, but rather to actually just transfer into a journal within the ERP so that somebody can actually validate that this is the number that we're looking for, or potentially request a recount if not, before those numbers are just blindly updated. An unplanned count is going to be really similar to those steps. We'll just scan a product, scan the bin we're counting it from, and enter that number we counted. Adjust quantity over here on the right is going to be specifically for negative adjustments. So if we have products that we find are damaged, products that are expired, whatever the case may be, this is to actually take those out of stock. So in this case, I'll scan the bin that I'm pulling that item from. I'll scan the item. I'll enter my quantity that I'm removing. So let's say I found 3 that have problems. And then here I'll enter a reason code. These, of course, will be specific to whatever your business needs them to be. In my case, I have damaged, eaten, or expired. Eaten is always my favorite, so that's the one we're going to choose today. And I will click that green check. Something that I always like to note with people as well is if you do have a device that has a camera on it, we can pretty easily add an extra step to this process and require that employee to take a photo of the product for documentation purposes, especially if something is damaged. Next, we'll talk about this next row here. These are also, again, kind of tied together. We have a planned move and an unplanned move again, and then we have a bulk move. So these two, the left and the center, these are going to be for when you're moving individual items, whereas a bulk move is going to be if you're moving the contents of one bin to an entirely separate bin. You're going to be able to do that all in one fell swoop. So I will take a look at a move here. We can see here I have my item number that I'm working with, the amount of pieces I need to move, which bin I'm pulling from, which bin I'm going to, all that good stuff. So I'll open this one up. Again, I'll scan the bin that I'm taking it from, and I'll enter that quantity that I'm taking. Here it will turn orange because I've taken that product out of the bin. I haven't moved it over to its new bin yet. If my proximity and the space I have in my hands work, I can grab my other one right now, or I can move over to my bin and finish placing this one. When I'm ready to place it, I scan that item again. I scan my new bin that I'm placing it into and confirm my quantity. I will go ahead and post this. I'm again just going to get this message since there's two items here. I only did one, but I will proceed anyways. Move over and show you guys a bulk move as well. This one's really straightforward. Like I said, this is when you are taking everything out of one bin and moving it to a new bin. I simply just scan the bin that I'm taking everything from, and then just scan the bin that everything is going into, and that bulk move has been completed. Two more down here that I want to show you guys, locate item and bin content. These are again kind of related. They actually do opposite things. So with locate item, I am going to have a product in front of me that I want to see all the different locations that that product is placed in. I can just scan my item. Oops, have to go into the function first. I'll scan my item. And here it will tell me a list of all of the locations that that item is registered. So you can see there's kind of a fraction looking number here. The number on the right-hand side is the number of products that I have. The number on the left-hand side is the number that are available. So in this top case, I have 57 items. All 57 are ready to go. In this bottom case, I have one of these items at that location, but that one item is already registered and prepared to be picked. So it's part of an upcoming pick order. So it's not available. So that item has a 0 in front of it. We'll take a look at bin content as well, just kind of the other side of that. So I can scan a bin code. Oops, and I move some products over. So when I scan this bin code, it will tell me which products are registered within those bins and how many of those there are as well. Last couple things here, just to kind of chat through a couple items. Substitute item is, I mentioned during picking, sometimes you will have products set up as acceptable substitutes for other products. This is, again, just one of those lookup functions. If you guys have those set up, you can scan a product and be able to see all of the acceptable substitutes for it. Item cross-reference, this one's really helpful actually within our receive function. So I'll go up there and show you guys where you can find it in there. As you can see, alongside this menu, we have a couple different options here that you can pop out. But if we actually go within a receive, say I received this product and I scan the barcode and it's not registering, whether it's the first time I've received this product or the vendor has updated the barcode, whatever the case may be. You can click add cross-reference. I can scan that new barcode. The cross-reference has been created, and now moving forward, anytime I scan that barcode, my system will know that that's the product that it's tied to. So that information will also, of course, be moved over and housed within your ERP moving forward. A couple other ones down here. Label printing is something that we support. We've got lots of pre-made templates, from customers that have done this in the past. This can be anything from, barcode printing to shipping label printing to logo printing, really whatever you guys want it to be set up as. Register item image. This, of course, requires a device that has a camera on it, but like I mentioned, this is typically used within a just quantity. If something's damaged, this can be really helpful for documentation purposes. With shipping, we integrate with any shipping provider that our customers select. We obviously have a couple that we run into pretty frequently, but whoever you guys choose or already have in place, we can integrate with. This module would essentially just look like, confirming that everything was ready to go, entering whatever shipping information that your provider requires, like the weight of the box or anything like that, and then moving it through those steps. Item dimensions is just the ability to add that data. So if you want to add, length, width, weight of any products, you can do that in this item dimension card. And then tote shipping will give you the ability to pick for multiple shipping orders at one time. So lots of great other features there, but for time's sake, we will move back over into the final part of our presentation, which is just to show you guys the appropriate people for you guys to reach out to learn some more information. So hopefully, you guys know who your account managers are at Microchannel. I know we've got a few of these folks on the line today as well, but definitely would be happy to, help them set up any further demos or discussions about our solution.